In this video, we will demonstrate how to set up the Arkscan Ethernet label printer on a Windows computer and print a sample 4x6 shipping label. First, make sure that the printer is powered on with a blue light on top, and that you have an Ethernet cable connected to your router and to the back of your printer. If there is a good connection, you will see a solid orange light on the top left of the Ethernet port and a blinking green light on the top right. Please make sure your computer is in the same network as the printer before you begin the installation. Let's proceed by opening a web browser and going to the website arkscan.com/driver. Click on the Windows drop-down list and then the Ethernet tab, and click the link to download the printer tool. Depending on your browser, the download status will show in different locations. Chrome is in the bottom left. Firefox is the top right. Edge is also in the top right. But by default, they are all set to go to the Windows download folder. After completion of downloading the file, click in the browser to open the file, or go to your download folder and double-click to open the compressed zip file called diagnostictool.zip. Once opened, drag the folder called Printer Tool onto your computer's desktop. If you try to run the program while it's still inside the compressed zip file, the software's language will not show as English. Double-click to open the Printer Tools folder. Now, double-click on the printertool.exe file. You may get a Windows protection message. If so, click on More Info, and then Run Anyway. Windows may also prompt that it needs to install the .NET framework if it has not previously been installed on the computer. These files are necessary for the printer tool to run and must be downloaded, and it can take between 5 to 10 minutes to download. Under the interface drop-down, select Ethernet. Click Setup, Discover, and you should see your printer appear in the list with an IP address. If the printer is not listed, switch the printer power off and then back on. Wait 10 seconds and then try the Discover button again. If you continue to have trouble, verify that your printer and computer are on the same network as each other. Check if the printer was set to static instead of DHCP. If it's set to static, we can use a USB cable to activate DHCP so that the printer can retrieve an IP address from your network and be discovered automatically. To do this, attach the USB cable to your printer and computer. In the printer tool, select USB as your interface and then Get Status. Verify that the status dot turns green to confirm that the USB connection is good. Click the Ethernet Setup button, select the DHCP option, and then set IP to save. Your printer should respond with a beep. Now, turn the printer power off, disconnect the USB cable from the printer and your computer, and then turn the printer power back on. Select the Ethernet interface, and then Setup. Now, Discover, and your printer should be listed. To test that the printer is accessible from your computer, click on Exit. Click on the Get Status button, and the status light will turn green. Click on Get in the bottom right corner, and a good connection will populate data in the fields and also show your printer version and serial number. Now, we highly suggest setting the printer's IP address to static instead of DHCP so that your computer can permanently connect to the printer with the same unchanged IP address. DHCP will continue to work until your network reassigns a new IP address for the printer. Click on the Ethernet Setup button. Change the selection from DHCP to static. This IP address is the device identity within your computer network. Be sure and copy it or write it down. We will need this IP address to set up the printer's driver later in the video. Click Set IP to save, and the printer will beep to confirm. Close out of the window. We can now exit out of the diagnostic tool. Using a web browser and the printer's IP, you can also access the web portal for the printer. By writing the printer's IP into the address bar, you can use this portal as another means to access the printer's network settings as well as other printer settings. Now we need to download the printer driver to complete the setup process. In your web browser, go to arkscan.com/driver. Under the Windows tab, let's click on the Download Previous Installer for both models 2054A and 2054K. Click on the completed download, or find the 2054A Seagull print driver in your Downloads folder. Once the installer is opened, accept the terms, Next, Next again, uncheck the Read Instructions box, click Finish. A Windows warning dialog may pop up at this point, or it could blink in your taskbar. It may also ask you to type in your computer's username and password, or you can just hit Yes to continue installation. At this next step, choose Install Printer Drivers, Next, choose Network, Next. In the list, choose either 4B-2054A or 2054K, depending on which model you have. If you are unsure, you can reference the tag on the bottom of your printer. Click Next. Let's create a port. Select Standard TCP/IP port. New port. Next. Now, type or paste the IP address from earlier. Next. Give it a moment as it adds the new port. Click Next. Finish. Close. Click on the port name that we just created and click Next. Now we can rename the printer. I'm going to call mine Arkscan 2054K. Click Next when done. Then Finish. Lastly, click Close. Just a few more things before we finish. In the Windows search box, or magnifying glass, depending on your version of Windows, start typing the word printer, and printers and scanners will appear. Click on the icon. Look for the Arkscan 2054K printer, or whatever name you gave yours from a few steps ago. Click on Manage, Printing Preferences, Page Setup tab, Advanced Options, Driver Options at the top. Click the checkbox next to Disable User Defined Page Size. Click Apply, then OK. Under Stock Name, select the 4x6 size. Apply and OK. This will set the driver for printing 4" by 6" labels. Now that the printer and driver are ready, we can test print a sample 4x6 label by clicking on this link or by going to arkscan.com/sample. Make sure you have run the printer calibration before printing. See the link below on how to run printer calibration. Let's print a 4x6 sample shipping label. There are different ways to print depending on which web browser you are using. In Chrome, you can click on the printer icon in the top right. Edge also has a printer icon in the top right. Firefox, you can click on the icon or go up to File and choose Print. Now that we have the print dialog open, let's first verify that Arkscan is selected as the printer. In paper size 4x6, fit to printable area, or adjust scale percentage to fit. Usually it's 100%. Now we can hit print and verify. If a single label printed and fills up the entire label, your printer works properly. And if you want guidance on setting up how to print with a particular printing platform, visit this link to see more information.